Hello again, traveler. It is good to see you well. The roads can be dangerous. In today's story, a previously benign entity comes into conflict with our heroes. After saving the elf maiden Eoyana from the structure below, our heroes finally prepared to rest in the camp of the once defeated bandits. Karanak, accompanied by Ted, seems impatient to continue on to Hillenville, as the group was contracted to do. Eoyana sits away from the group, still overwhelmed by these new persons she finds herself surrounded with, and the implications of her long-awaited freedom. There's also still an orb, in some way connected to the Grey Tower, floating over a pile of bones and humming gently. The orb was defended by the Grey Tower bandits, but did not contribute to the battle, nor has it reacted to anything our heroic vagabonds have done in its presence. As the group sleeps, eats, and has quiet conversations to whittle away the hours until dawn, Samira finds herself enticed by the orb. Watching it for a while, she notices that the hum is accompanied by a faint light that shines down onto the bones below it, one at a time. It seems to be looking for something. The bones assembled here are not that old, some barely dry, and seem to be a collection of human, half-elf, and halfling. Curious, she starts moving bones around the pile to try and deduce if the orb reacts to any specific bone or species. After about an hour of this, she adds a new bone to the pile, one from the ancient elf skeleton from below.
What is it you are looking for?
Upon scanning the ancient bone, the orb snaps to attention from its gentle wobbling, and the bone levitates into a small hole that opens on the orb's side. It begins to float away from the pile, picking up speed as it moves towards the opening in the side of the ruins. Samir calls out to the others, who immediately realize the orb returning to the tower with what it was sent to find may be a very bad thing.
Oh no, you stay away from Scary Tower. Down. Bat the ball. Down.
Yazba leaps upon the sphere, but his small frame barely slows the magically accelerating stone. He clings to it regardless, emitting a long, alarmed shriek as he is dragged along on the journey. As the orb begins to slowly ascend away from the earth, Pumpkin reaches out and grabs Yazba, using her other hand to claw the ground for purchase as the orb slowly moves them both away from camp.
You can't have Yazba! He's our friend!
Samira catches up. With all three throwing their weight and muscle against it, the orb is stopped from moving further away. As the orb struggles to free itself, Module is able to throw a spell that pins the object to the ground with vines and roots.
Oh, we don't want to see you go, so don't leave so soon.
The orb seems to power down, and while it is not struggling, the group pins it to the ground in camp with a series of ropes, nets, and camping spikes. Once it seems to be secure, those needing rest return to their bedrolls. Yazba does not need to rest, so he watches the orb and notices when it wakes up. He begins to ask it questions, and sometimes it hums or beeps. Frustrated, Yazba starts to use force, using magical acid to eat into the orb, which seems to cause it distress. After a few minutes of this, the orb speaks in common.
Please, stop. If you continue, I may become irreparably damaged.
Well, traveler, the fire burns low, and we are out of wine. We'll continue this story when next we meet. What about the ancient elf bones caught the attention of the orb, and what use would such information be to the Grey Tower?